Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Good morning, ma'am and all my friends. First of all, I would like to thank to God Almighty because of His mercy and grace, we can all gather through this online class with healthy and sane conditions in this morning. Second, I would like to say thank you to Ma'am Giminiastiti Sakir as a lecturer in the classroom management for young learner who was pleased to attend this online class in this morning. Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all my beloved friends who take the time to attend this online class even though they are still sleepy or no one had breakfast. It's great to see you all. Okay, now we are from group 4. Today we will begin the presentations about assessing for young learners. Before that, let me introduce our members of group. There are me, my name is Ilma Iza Khairunisa, and all my friends, Emva Is Afrisialdi, Siti Nur Hikmah, Alna Bastin, Agnes Priscilla Pole, Vera Damaira, Lisa Novitasari, and Joya Asnari. So, without wasting any more time, let's start the presentations. Assessing young language learners. As we know, the use of traditional method is problematic. Because what? Because traditional paper and pencil tests like filling in gaps in sentence, answering multiple choice questions, or translating vocabularies often do not work because such isolated exercise do not show what children know and can do with confidence or the negative feedback effect of tests. It will discourage children and cause them to lose their motivations to learn English. Now we move to traditional assessment. First one-shot standardized exam. Second, time multiple choice format. Third, the contextualized text item. 4. Score suffice for feedback. 6. Norm reference scores. 7. Focus on the right answer. 8. Non-interactive performance. And the last one is foster extrinsic motivations. Assessment techniques which are appropriate to make sure the children progress, such as observation, self-assessment, portfolio, and project work.
Thank you for the time. I will explain about alternative assessment. Alternative assessment are divided into 8. The first one is continuous long-term assessment. The second one, time, free response format. The third one, contextualized communicative tasks. 4. Formative interactive feedback. 5. Criterion reference scores. 6. Open-ended creative answer. 7. Interactive performance, and the last fosters intrinsic motivation. Example of alternative assessment. The first is portfolio assessment, structured assessment, activities or tasks, projects, self-assessment, peer assessment, learner develop assessment tasks, take-home tasks, observation, and conferencing.
Okay, for the next material is about the child-friendly assessment. So, in this slide, we have to know what is child-friendly assessment. So, child-friendly assessment refers to an approach in assessment or evaluation that considers the needs, readiness, and holistic development of children. Okay, for the next slide is about what is the definition of evaluation. For the first one is the definition of evaluation is the process of collecting information to determine the extent to which a learning program has successfully achieved its objective, and then various issues related to language and education and providing an assessment of them. And then gathering information about the knowledge, abilities, understanding, attitudes, and motivation of children. Okay, the testing. The next slide is testing. The most used of assessment is paper pencil test. So we have to know what is the definition of paper pencil test. So paper pencil test is a type of exam or assessment where question and answer or text are completed using paper and a pencil or pen directly. Test takers respond to the question or complete text and answer sheets or text paper using conventional writing tools such as pencil or pen. Okay, for the next slide, this is a table of assessment. So the table of assessment has two categories, that is normal and informal. The normal is include summative, product, and traditional, and informal include formative, process, and alternative. Okay, we go to the normal assessment. The normal assessment has three categories. The first is summative. The summative evaluation conducted to assess the final assessment or outcomes of a learning process or program. And then the product focus on the final outcome or product produced by students such as project, artwork, or presentation. And then traditional conventional evaluation method involving written tests or commonly structured assessment. Okay, for the next is informal assessment. Has three categories: formative, process, and alternative. The formative one is evaluation process ongoing during learning to provide feedback and guide students' development throughout the learning process. And then the process emphasize how students' information and learn, not just come the final outcomes. And then the third is alternative evaluation method that differ from traditional approach, including skill, presentation, or portfolios. Okay, the next is portfolios. Portfolios typically encompass various types or material or artifact that demonstrate the first stage, such as problem solving, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, and the development on other skills. Okay, for the next slide is the sample of portfolio can consist of written assignment, samples, project, record of books read, test result, self-assessment notes, and parents and teacher comments. Okay, the next material is
Thank you. I'm Vera Damaira and I'm going to explain about assessment and the purpose or the importance of assessment for young children or young learners. So, what is assessment? Assessment is a crucial element for young children. It is a general term which includes all methods used to gather information about children's knowledge, ability, understanding, attitudes, and motivation, according to Ianno Giorgio and Pavlo 2003. It refers to collecting information and making judgment on learners' knowledge in order to decide what to do next. Assessment also requires profiling and sampling. Profiling consists of gathering as much as information about the child, and then sampling is gathering samples of work produced by the child that show progress over time and that show achievement at different stages of the child's development. So why assess young children? Why do we have to or why should we assess young children? Well, there are some points here, and the first one is to monitor and aid children's progress. This means assessing young children is done to keep track of how they are doing in their learning journey and to provide support to help them improve. It's like checking in regularly to ensure they are making progress and offering assistance when needed. It provides a record of cognitive, physical or motor, language, social, emotional in all development areas. Next, to provide children with evidence of their progress and enhance motivation. This means that assessing young children serves the purpose of giving them tangible proof of how well they are advancing in their learning. By showing their progress through assessments, children can feel a sense of achievement, which in turn boosts their motivation and continue learning and improving. And then to monitor your performance and plan future work. This implies that assessing young children helps teachers keep an eye on how well they are teaching. By evaluating the effectiveness of their methods through assessment, teachers can adjust their strategies and plan future lessons to better support the children's learning needs. Last but not least, to provide information for parents, colleges, and school authorities. This means that assessing young children is important to gather information about their progress and information which can be shared with parents, colleges, and schools authorities. It helps create a collaborative understanding of a child's development and learning achievement among those involved in their education.
My name is Jaya Asnansari. Now I will explain about what do we assess. Assessing young language learners involve evaluating various aspects of their language skills and abilities. This assessment aims to gauge their proficiency, progress, strengths, and areas needing improvement in language learning. So, first, skill development include listening, speaking, reading, and writing. uh, Listening skills. Assessment focus on the ability of young learners to understand spoken language, follow instruction, comprehend conversation, and respond appropriately. And the speaking skills, this involves evaluating a child's ability to express themselves verbally, use vocabulary and grammar correctly, pronounce words accurately, and engage in conversation. And reading skills, assessment determines a child's ability to recognize letters, understand words, comprehend sentence, and extract meaning from written text at their level. And writing skills, assessing a child's reading involves evaluating their ability to form letters, spell words, construct sentence, and express ideas in written form. Next is learning how to learn. Learning how to learn refers to the process of acquiring skills, strategies, and techniques that enhance a person's ability to effectively learn and acquire new knowledge. In the context of assessing young language learners, focusing on learning how to learn involves evaluating their metacognitive abilities, learning strategies, and approaches to language acquisition. Next is attitudes. Attitudes in assessing young language learners refers to their feelings, belief, perception, and inclination towards the language being learned, the learning process itself, and their overall motivation and engagement in language learning activities. Evaluating attitudes in young language learners is crucial as it can significantly influence their success and progress in learning a new language. And the last is assessing behavioral and social skills in young language learners involves evaluating their ability to interact, communicate, and behave appropriately in social settings while using the target language. These skills are essential not only for language acquisition but also for successful communication and integration within various social contexts. Next slide is how do we assess children in assessing young learners? Assessing young learners involves evaluating their abilities, progress, and development in various areas. The assessment process for young children requires a holistic approach, considering their cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. And there are two methods to assess children. First is portfolio assessment. Portfolio assessment is a method of evaluating and documenting a person's progress, achievement, skills, and learning experience over time. It involves structured assessment, activities or tasks, and project, and then self-assessment, and the last is peer assessment. And the second method is traditional tests. Traditional tests in assessing children typically refers to standardized or formal assessment that measure a child's knowledge, skills, abilities, and understanding in specific academic areas. This assessment usually follows structured format, including learner developed assessment tests, take-home tasks, observation, and conferencing.
I will explain about assessment activities in listening. Brewster Ellis Card 2003. The first is listen and discriminate between sound. In this activity, learners are required to distinguish between different sounds. This can involve recognizing and identifying specific sounds such as phonemes, tones, or environmental noise. And the next, listen and point to things or follow instruction. This activity assists the ability to comprehend and follow oral instruction. And the third, listen and select the appropriate pictures. Learners listen to spoken prompts and are tasked with selecting the correct picture from a set of options. The next, listen to a description and draw or color a picture. This involves listening to a description and translating it into a visual representation. Learners draw or color a picture based on the information they hear, showcasing their comprehension and interpretive skills. As the next, listen to a description, label a picture. Similar to the previous activity, learners listen to a description, but in this case, they label an existing picture with the appropriate information. And the next, listen and match two pictures, a word or sentence. Learners are present with pairs of pictures, words, or sentence. They must listen to spoken prompts and match them correctly, demonstrating their ability to make connection between auditory and visual information. Next, listen to description or story and tick items on a simple card. This activity involves listening to a narrative or description and marking specific items on a card or list as they are mentioned. It assists the learner's comprehension and listening accuracy. And the next, listen and complete gaps in words or sentence. Learners listen to a sentence or passage with missing elements and fill in the blanks with the correct words. The last is listen and select the correct response or multiple choice. In this activity, learners listen to a question or statement and choose the correct response from multiple choice option. This assists their ability to comprehend spoken language and make informed choices based on the information provided. Assessment activities in speaking. Brewster Ellis Card 2003. The first is listen and repeat words that rhyme, have the same opposite meanings. Listen and repeat only things that are true. Learners listen to the statements and are instructed to repeat only the statements that are true. This activity evaluates their comprehension skills as well as their ability to discern and accurately repeat information. Next, sing a song, say a rhyme or poem from memory. This task assists both memory and pronunciation. Learners are expected to recall and recite a song, rhyme, or poem from memory. Do pair work task. In pair work tasks, learners engage in spoken communication with a partner. This can involve discussion, role plays, or collaborative problem solving. The assessment focus on their ability to express ideas, listen, and interact effectively. And the next, speak from picture prompts. Learners are given visual prompts such as pictures or diagrams and are required to speak about the content they see of a sentence. In this activity, learners are provided with incomplete sentence and they must complete them orally. And the next, pass on telephone message. This task simulates a real-life communication scenario. Learners receive a message and must accurately convey it to another person. And play a guessing game. Guessing games involve learners providing clues or description to help others guess a particular word, phrase, or concept. And the last, listen to a story, sequence pictures, and retell the story. Learners listen to a story, observe a set of pictures and then retell the story in the correct sequence.
Oke, thank you for opportunity. The next material about assessment activity in reading. Menurut Brewster Ellis Gard pada tahun 2003, ada beberapa hal yang perlu kita lakukan. Yang pertama itu, engage in simple reading games at the word level such as the one out. Number 2, read a rhyme poem or part of dialogue alone. Number 3, read vocabulary item and category them into family. Number 4, read a description and label a drawing or diagram. Number 5, read a description and color or draw a picture. Number 6, read letter and arrange them to produce well-structured sentence. And last, number 7, read and respond to multiple choice or false or corporation question. Next slide, assessment activity in writing. Nah, di sini ada beberapa hal yang perlu lagi kita lakukan dalam meneliti sebuah menulis menurut Brewster Ellis Gard pada tahun 2003. Yang pertama, ranger and copy letter to spell a word. Number 2, read a description and write label or caption for picture. Number 3, complete a crossword. Number 4, fill in gaps in sentence to test grammar or vocabulary. Number 5, write speech bubble for character from a story or dialogue. Number 6, transfer simple notes on a chart into sentence. Number 7, answer simple question in writing form. And last, number 8, correct mistakes in sentence or text.
Okay, the next is how to give feedback. So, feedback can be given in a variety of ways, like individually to each child, to groups of children, or the whole class. Giving feedback can also be given in the form of self-correction or peer feedback. But one of the best way to give feedback is through conferencing with the children when you discuss the result of the assessment. Next slide, how each assessment test is organized for level beginners, elementary, and pre-intermediate. So, assessment organized by age group in class, time to feedback, description, follow-up, language variation, skills in preparation, assessment of outcome, assessment criteria in preparation portfolio, materials in preparation of comments.